What should you do if you have a pre-construction closing in a Toronto condo market downturn? Oof. Stay tuned to this episode. It could be a lifesaver. Promise you, it'll be worth it. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. So glad you could join me here today. Every week on Prime Properties TV, we take a closer look at the Toronto real estate topics and updates that matter the most to you. And on this episode, I'm going to tell you what to do if you are closing a pre-construction condo during this market downturn in the condo space. So make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the Prime Properties channel for awesome real estate content like this weekly on Thursdays. The button to subscribe will be somewhere on the bottom right hand side of the screen where I'm making a circle right now. So subscribe. So I wanted to take some time out and put this information out there because I think we could be seeing some challenges for those who are closing pre-constructions in the coming months. There are two major issues that I want to address right now, and I think these are going to be the larger issues that are going to be happening and seeing. Number one being how to rent out your property in a tenant's market, meaning all the market conditions are favorable for the tenant. And number two, any potential issues that we may be seeing with appraisals in the coming months. So let's start with number one. Now, as most pre-construction condos were bought as investments with the intention to rent it out, when you get keys, closing, occupancy, whatever, right? Whenever you get keys. So the strategy I've always been saying, especially in the pre-construction space, even before a pandemic, is get the keys and rent it out ASAP. Find the lowest price comparable that's a competition for you and just undercut them by 50 bucks or even the same price if you're just like on a higher floor. The reason you want to do this is when a pre-construction condo, like an entire project, becomes ready and everyone gets keys within a few weeks of one another, especially the 400 plus unit projects, there's going to be a ton of supply, like a ton, okay? So back in the pre-pandemic days, there was so much demand for like smaller condo unit rentals. It didn't really matter because the inventory that came out from these massive projects would still be absorbed in like 2 to 3 months tops. Yes, all 400 units would be leased or occupied by somebody. Now, in the condo downturn where we're in right now, it's not the same. Don't be so stubborn with your pricing because you want to lease it out as soon as possible to cover your costs, whether it's occupancy or carrying costs. So you need to list it low. It's not even about maybe I'll list it for $2,000 and I'll ultimately settle for $1,900. It's set it at $1,900, get it leased ASAP with the most amount of showings so that at least you potentially have selection of tenants. Because when you're priced the lowest, you get the most interest and you get the most showings and you can potentially choose between multiple tenants and pick the AAA tenant that will be the best for you. Secondly, when listings go stale and the owners or their agents realize like, I got to reduce the price to get it leased because they didn't realize that what kind of market condition it is, it becomes a race to the bottom, along with all the other ones who are in that same situation. You don't want to participate in a race to the bottom when the condo downturn because potentially it could go lower than the 1900 I was talking about in the previous example. On top of that, maybe you would have 2 to 4 weeks of vacancy, which is like another $1,900 give or take, depending on what you ultimately lease the property for. So it's just more losses. So it's better to undercut, get it leased, and cut your losses and move on with your life. Another tip for you guys right now is do not take photos with your phone. Hire a professional photographer and that understands angles and can edit and post, unless you could do it. Pay for the photographer. It's like $100 and you can get professional photographers to make your photos look best and more attractive so you can get more selection of tenants. On top of that, you can use these photos in the future. So it's an investment in your investment. I've seen so many bad photos on listings out there from owners or agents. It's just a crime. Those vertical ones where you can see a reflection of the person in the photo, stop it. Just stop it. The second point here is potential appraisal issues. Now, I haven't heard of any happening right now, but I believe there's a very good chance we could see that because I saw the same patterns in 2017 with the detached houses, and I see them right now, and I think they're coming in the future. Let me explain. If you bought a condo for, say, $600,000 during the pre-construction phase, but because the prices have been suppressed right now, and say maybe the market value is $900,000 as per the bank appraisals, they will not give you the full mortgage of the $600,000. Let me repeat. They won't give you a mortgage for what you bought it for. They will only give you a mortgage or finance you up to the appraisal amount, which is $500,000 in my example, which is what they think it's worth. So this means you're going to have to come up with the difference of $100,000 in cash through some kind of loan, private mortgage, and yes, it's going to get expensive. That means for that $600,000 property, instead of putting down $120,000, 20% of the 600, you're going to have to put down $200,000, which comes from 20% of 500 is 100, plus the other $100,000 you have to bridge. Now, I don't mean to freak you out, as the condo closing right now were likely bought in like 2016 or 2017, where you bought in like $800 to $900 per square foot, and we're currently still trading at $1,000 per foot. However, let me stop you there. For anyone who have bought a pre-construction where the average price was over $1,000 a foot, there's potentially an issue with the appraisal value in the future when you close. So either be prepared for that bridging or start the assignment process if you cannot bridge it. Again, I haven't heard back from any appraisals regarding this issue right now, especially those who are unfavorably appraised, but I believe there's a pretty good chance this could happen in the future. So it's best not to be caught off guard, to be prepared for you guys right now. So if you're in one of these sticky situations, when they're one, rental, or two, you're afraid of the appraisal value and are a bit concerned about how to proceed, you can book a call with me in the link that I'll put in the screen below. It's www.chatwithzen.com, and I'll do my best to assist you. Hopefully it's not to freak everyone out. I just want to put some information out there because I've seen this in the past before with the 2017 detaches, and I think I'm going to see it for the condos in the near future. So make sure you are prepared so you're not caught off guard. Hopefully this was helpful. Until next time, your move, your future. Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Oh, you know what? This one's good too. Ooh, this one's really good. You know what? Just watch them both.